Many thanks for joining us, and you're watching the Policon. Here we discuss politics and economics. My name is Jerome Sonko. It's yet another brand new episode, and I'm telling you this time around we're going to be having conversations that are pretty much rotating around gender equality and of course creating room for women. Conversations that are rotating around women getting involved in Uganda's political and economic space. But tell you what, besides that, also be reminded that Smart 24 TV is on mainstream, channel 394 on GoTV and channel 372 on DSTV. And the idea is definitely to drive business. So keep it in and let's continue driving business with you wherever you are. And in today's particular episode, we're going to be looking at digital accessibility, but generally looking at how women can be inclusive or can be included into this new era of technology and innovation. Just if you to look back a little bit at the Women's Day celebration, like we do know, the month of March is generally a month of celebrating women, and the International Women's Day is one that we generally look at if we are to look at the month of March. Women in business, women in power, business and leadership as well. Now, looking deeper into understanding what we're going to be having, we're going to be looking deeply into the theme, just a throwback to the theme of the Women's Day 2023, which was Digital or Digital for All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. And this is where our discussion is going to be. Now, mentioning of women, we are going to be discussing this with the chairperson for the Uganda Women's Council, that is Hadid Farida Chimboa, who is on set with us. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, now as we continue to get deeper in understanding all of this, first of all, what does Women's Day mean to the women out there?
Thank you so much. And the viewers, I want to say that I am blessed to be a woman, and my name is Hadid Farida Chimboa.
Okay.
So from that, you can really see that I am a woman.
Who is
definitely. And by the grace of God, I'm a national leader of all the women of Uganda.
That's a big privilege.
And of course, first of all, I want to congratulate all the women upon reaching this Women's Day, as it has been the case. We have had a number of celebrations, but of course, this one was special in a way that looking at the theme, it was really touching the life of a woman who didn't know how to do with technology. Yet technology is the way to go. So Women's Day was established for us women, all the women, to look at the achievements, and of course we have a reflection on what we have had before, where we are and where are we looking forward to. Yes. So I think it is worth celebrating because first of all, we didn't choose to be women. Right? We would have loved to be a woman, but it was not given to you. So that is by the grace of God we are women. And of course, when you look at us, we are a vulnerable group. So we are, the day is worth celebrating because it brings all of us together to talk about issues that are affecting us and how we can tackle them.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, by the look of things also, let's go deeper in understanding the National Women's Council.
Yes.
How does it come about? How do we have a Women Council that is representing the issues of women in the country?
First of all, the National Women's Council was established by an Act of Parliament in 1993. And of course, I think those women who were in Parliament thought it wise. Like I have told you, initially, when you look at the women of those days and the women of today, you would really see a difference. But of course, what they thought about was wise, that they needed a unified body that would bring women together for purposes of economic development.
Okay.
And of course, the major objective is bringing all the women of Uganda together for development purposes, irrespective of your political party, religion, background, be it tribe, or name it. So all the women of Uganda,
yes,
the moment you clock 18 and above,
and you're a female,
you're in the Women's Council. You're a member of the Women's Council.
Okay.
And myself, with my committee and the rest of the women leaders in different levels, because we have the district level, we have the sub-county level, we have the parish level, and the bottom, which is the village level. This is how the structure was put, because when you want to become a leader in the Women's Council, you have to begin from your village. You don't wake up one day and you say, I want to be the national chair of the Women's Council. No. You have to get the mandate of the women in your village. They vote you. All the women in a particular village are members of the council. Then they elect the committee of 5.
Okay, that is at the village
council. At the village council.
Okay.
Yes, because the meeting of all the women in the village, in a particular village, is called a women's conference.
Okay.
Yes, and they elect 5 women leaders. That is the chair, the vice, the secretary, and the treasurer, plus the publicity secretary. Then after that, you go to the parish level. For example, if a parish has 5 villages, all the women who were elected in all the villages of that parish. Take an example, if there are 5 villages in a particular parish, then that means an electoral college is formed. Then they elect again 5 women leaders. Then after that, you go to the sub-county. And they elect, yes.
Is it then 5 at the sub-county?
Yes, at the sub-county it is 5. Okay. Then after that, when you want to go to the district, you will have to make sure that you are a sub-county chairperson. Because now when it comes to the district committee, it is elected by all the chairpersons of all the sub-counties in a particular district. Then when it comes to the district, now the elective positions are 4, and it is the chairperson, the vice, the publicity secretary, and the finance. And now the secretary is not elected. That is a technical person from the Department of Gender in a district under the COW. Because this technical person helps in having minutes and preparing meetings and giving accountabilities to all the funds that go in the council. And when it comes to the national level, where I happen to be the national chair, it is also quite different. If you want to be elected at the national level, you have to come from your district as a district chairperson. So this is the sieve that you go through. And of course, my district is Kayunga. I came from Kayunga. Then all the women from the 146 districts joined together, and we campaigned. And of course, by the grace of God, I emerged the winner. Yes, with my committee of 4. The vice chairperson is from Lira district, the chairperson of Lira, and she's now a member of parliament. The publicity secretary is from Kamuli, and the national treasurer is from Karamoja, Nakapiripiriti district. And the secretary to the committee is still a technical person from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. This Women Council is under the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. So that is the structure. And of course we have other leads from political parties. But this one is a government structure that brings together all the women irrespective of your political party.
Now, by the look of things, going back to the National Women Council, every year there is always a conference you normally have. What is this conference all about? Is it generally looking at the performance of the women in the country, or there are some other things that you push out there? For example, encouraging these women in business and everything. Take us through that.
First of all, this conference is held once in a year, and it is stipulated in the Act that it is supposed to be there, and if you happen not to have it, they can even take you to court. Yes, I remember one time we didn't even have the funds, and I was threatened that they are going to take me to court for failure to conduct
the conference.
But of course, we managed to get the funds, but basically, like I have told you, it is once in a year. A year is quite a big period where you have gathered a lot of information, a lot of achievements, challenges, and proposals about like the way forward. So this conference is like giving accountability on what we have done, what has been what have been the challenges, and how do we handle them, and then we forge a way forward. We normally have it on the 7th. That is the eve of Women's Day, so that we get access to the resolutions. We have resolutions, and we present them before because we make a statement, and on behalf of all the women on that day. So what happens? We get the resolutions and we put them in our statement, and I present them like I did yesterday, because this is what gives proper accountability. Because this is a government structure. That is why you see the president has always been attending.
I want to believe
the
it's
ministers.
Now 20 years old.
Yes, and the ministers, departments, agencies, development partners. So we call upon all of them to handle the issues that we are raised in that conference for proper action.
Now, for the women out there, would wish, for example, my mother out there, my sisters would wish to know, what are the objectives of the National Women Council?
First of all, the major objective of the Women's Council, and maybe the major reason why it was established, was to bring all women together. You know, the women had issues, so many issues, and this council brings them together in a unified body to speak up, find solutions, take up leadership roles and responsibilities, because you can actually concur with me. Initially, the women would not even speak. So we are looking at empowering women financially, socially, politically, and all sorts of challenges that women were going through. So it has been a very good platform for all the women. Actually, this Women's Council, it is like a nursery bed. It grooms future leaders, especially women, and making sure that our voices are heard, and taking up all the spaces, be it in leadership, be it in business, be it where, be it in health,
and
everywhere.
Business lately, women are doing so well.
Yes, leadership, business, and now science and technology. We are looking at health. We are looking at so many factors. So I think this platform here has really helped the women, especially at the village level, to make to take up the responsibility of taking up all the spaces, because you remember, women initially didn't even know how to speak. You would not even stand to contest, but having these meetings at the village level actually makes them confident, and we get to know most of the government programs through this channel. It is a government structure. It is a beautiful structure that I really feel every person who wants to help the women of Uganda should embrace. Because if you want really to, if you have activities, or if you have ways of helping or giving women chances of benefiting from any program, Why not use the Women's Council structure?
Okay.
Yes.
And so also, by the look of things here, I want to look at women in business. For the last 10, 20 years, if you're to look, if you're to go to Kampala, for example, Chikuwo, Chikuwo has actually been dominated highly by women. Then look at most of the areas within, most of the businesses in arcades actually being dominated by women. And then now let's go to the village level, markets. Businesses, small-scale businesses, still generated by that actually governed by women and everything. Now the good thing on the other note is now even at the higher level, or what people call the corporate class,
yes,
we have lots of women in
so
there.
much.
So if you look back at this and see, for example, a development or an achievement by the Women Council, how far have you gone to push these women, especially the young women out there who are still in school, those who still think those who still feel that they are hopeless, they won't make it? How far have you reached out to these people to make sure that they compete?
Okay, first of all, Brian, if I may let you know, by the time I came into this office of the Women's Council, I found an office that had delayed elections for 15 years.
Okay.
So when I came in office, first thing, the first role that I had to play and my target was to have a vibrant and visible council.
Okay.
Because, like I have told you, we have leaders in the Women's Council from the grassroots to the national level. But what happens, I have told you this is a government structure. All the leaders in this Women's Council structure, I wanted them to be visible and vibrant. Why did I want it to be like that?
Okay.
We normally tap into government programs if we are to develop women. All government programs. And another role that we play is to monitor government programs, its implementation, and how do we make sure that women benefit from all the government programs.
Okay.
This is what we did. First of all, we wanted to empower women in the structures with information on all government programs.
So that they are aware.
So that they are aware. You cannot be a leader who does not know what's going on.
Very true.
The Ministry of Gender is having a program which is typically for women. That is the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program. The leaders don't know about it. How will the women that they lead get to know about it? So I made sure that we develop a training manual. A training manual that has got different modules. Things to do with domestic violence, things to do with parenting, things to do with early childhood marriages, economic development, how do we tap into government programs, how do we handle finances, how do we engage in business, all those things. I wanted the women leaders to be well equipped. Yeah. And I remember very well when they were inaugurating us, the president was there. I tasked him that our major role was to empower women. How can we empower others when we ourselves are not empowered? Yes. So I really wanted the women leaders to lead by example, to be empowered first, then they empower others. That is at all levels. So what do I mean by this? Okay. We started looking at all the government programs that are available. Okay. The latest being the parish development model. We negotiated and we got the 30% for women. Okay. But we don't want the 30% to remain on paper.
You want it on ground?
We want it on ground. And the parish development model, based at the parish level, we have a chairperson of the parish. This one is a member of the committee. So we had to move around all the parishes, all the districts, calling all the parish chairpersons, giving them information about PDM, and telling them how we have our 30% and how they should mobilize women in their respective villages to benefit from this program. Okay. Because the allocation is there. Look at the Mioga. The Mioga has a component of women entrepreneurs. So we had to make sure that our women leaders get to know about this. And we encouraged them to mobilize women to form circles so that the women who are venturing into different enterprises get to know about this Myoga fund. They get the money. Even the young women in YLP, that is the Youth Livelihood Program. The young women who are above 18, but not be above 30, between 18 and 30, they are also beneficiaries from WEP, they are beneficiaries from YLP, they are beneficiaries from Myoga and PDM.
Okay.
So this is what we are doing. And we made sure that we call upon all those MDS departments, ministries, and agencies to make sure that they use the council structure. And using this women council structure is the only solution if we can help the women of Uganda.
If we want to see them developing
in any way. Okay. Because there is no way you can have a program that is going to benefit women and the women leaders don't get to know about it.
So true.
So that means the program will collapse.
It is going to be operating behind it.
Absolutely. And everywhere I sit in meetings, I try to tell the participants and creating awareness that there is this beautiful structure that can be used to help the women of Uganda.
Okay.
So what we have done, we have also had an opportunity to go in some districts. When I came in, I didn't find a budget
for the women.
For the women council. And it really costed me a lot. The first 2 years at the national level, there was no budget that was there to run the activities.
Because there was actually a time when the Minister of Gender was saying even her ministry receives less funding from the national.
Yes, we had issues with the budget, but we pushed harder. And of course, I remember one time I even opted to go to the East African Parliament. And the head of state was concerned and was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to look for opportunities." "Why are you leaving the women?" I said, "This position is killing my political career. We have no funds. How can we reach out to the women?" That means at the end of our term of office, we are not going to have an accountability. How are we going to account for our stay in office without a budget?
Yes.
We can't reach out to the women. We are very incapacitated. And actually we worked on it and we got a budget to a tune of 10 billion. We got it this financial year. And of course we have started. We have started going around, meeting women, sensitizing them, empowering them with information, and of course telling them we have had an opportunity to send some institutional support, because even the women at the district did have even a coin to run around the district. They did have transport. So we are looking at a tune of some good money, not so much, but at least small money that can facilitate a chairperson of a district to run around the sub-counties, maybe meet the sub-county committees, so that the sub-county committees can go to the village, so that an ordinary woman benefits from the existence of this women's council. Yes. So when we got the budget, we started very well, and we made sure that we get stamps for the women, all the women leaders at the district.
Did the budget increase in any way? The funds that are going to the council now?
Yes, they increased. I found a council that had 800 million shillings in a financial year. Then we presented our papers and they accepted. Now we have a tune of 10 billion, close to 10 billion shillings. So that means in a quarter we can have 2 at maximum if there are no budget cuts. So that is how we have started. Remember, we had 2 years off, the 2 years of COVID. So we again started to go down to reach out to the young people. You know, COVID affected us so much. So now we ran to the districts, now started meeting these teenage mothers, giving them hope, giving them information that please go back to school. Ministry of Education has given us an opportunity, a second chance, use it. There are skill centers, go and get skills from these skills that are, I don't know whether you know about these hubs, the presidential initiative hubs. They are in all the regions of Uganda. Please register, go back and get skills, go for family planning, so that you don't conceive again. So giving them hope, because most of these girls that were affected had lost hope. So we are trying, though the number is overwhelming and it is really bad for a future mother. Because when you look at our young girls being spoiled at a tender age, it really becomes a problem for the future women of Uganda.
Okay.
And of course, we are using this money to help us sensitize. Because, you know, women issues are cross-cutting. We have so many women that are disabled. Yes. We have issues to do with health. We have issues to do with
then some domestic violence.
Absolutely. So we go meet these women leaders, tell them about issues to do with domestic violence, and we came to realize that one of the major causes of domestic violence is poverty. So the only solution is to make sure that these women get government programs and they maybe get out of that poverty that can cause a lot of domestic violence. And of course, there are issues that are preventable. We normally talk, we reach to an extent of becoming counselors.
At that level?
At that level.
From the village?
Yes, you become a real counselor. We adopted a household model. And this household model is actually based at the village level. We sat down with my team. We have a team of technical people and the executive, and we really scratched our heads, and we were very much concerned that how do we make our village leaders relevant. We said, okay, let's develop a household model. This household model, we developed it to make sure that these 5 women leaders have got a role to play in their respective villages.
Madam Chairperson, I'm going. Let's first go in for a break. When we return, we talk about the household model.
Yes.
How it is being implemented. Then we dig deeper into the achievements of the council. And then we look at how we can include women into this digital accessibility topic and a discussion around innovation and technology. And for the viewers out there who are still watching the Policon, you are still stuck to Smart 24 TV. Here we discuss politics and economics in this very show. Now, after the break, we do return with more conversations and, of course, rotating around women in power, women in leadership, and women who are making changes in society today. Of course, after the break, we're going to be looking at the household model, and how it's implemented, how best can it be executed, and to help women achieve their best and grow together in the world of development. Stick around.